Hey, Scott Russell. Just wanted to talk a little bit more about midlife. My personal experiences, what I'm looking for, have allowed myself to take the journey of. And the reason I want to bring this up is I think that we don't hear enough taught about it. We hear a lot about everyone's needs being met, but I took a different path and I wanted to unwrap that a little bit. I went through a marriage breakdown. My wife, which lately I'm meeting so many women of the same story, or hearing of so many of the same story, where they're trying to connect to their husband. They say, I love my husband, I just can't get through to the man. And just heard one today that said, going to give him 5 years, and if he hasn't changed, because obviously it's until the kids are old enough, they're leaving. And like I've said in other videos, I think that's a travesty. I don't actually believe, being in this situation, I don't believe that's a good outlook on life, because what you're really saying is I'm teaching my child to be dysfunctional. I'm teaching my child to stay in a toxic environment because whatever. And instead of showing what true love is and what they should expect and how they should have self-respect and be treated with respect. So that's part of it. But from a male perspective, and this video may go a little longer, but just wanted to unwrap a little bit of my heart on that. My wife really, I think looking back, hit me with the same thing. She couldn't connect, she didn't, felt worn out, and probably didn't mean to get to where she got to. But when the male doesn't understand, things accelerate pretty quickly into demise. And when she separated from me, I obviously took that it's done, because men are very fix-it, right? And so I put myself on a journey after this where I've spent a lot of time with older women, platonic. I've not been intimately with another woman since my wife left. Now, I know that's not normal. I know a lot of men jump into bed with women and carry down that path, but I didn't want to do that, and I want to unwrap why. Because from a male perspective, I really felt, I thought, I don't understand something about women here. I'm missing something. So as I spent a lot of time, hours, walking with older ladies, sitting with older ladies, just getting to know them, listening to them, hearing their hearts, I'm starting to understand, I don't understand women, but I started to understand from my perspective where hearts could resonate. And in not engaging the physical, I felt that, with women, I felt that if I waited, the right one would come along, and I want to engage with the spirit first. Then I wanted to engage and see if it was possible to engage with their heart, their mind, and obviously then physically or sexually. But I didn't want to go the other way, because I guess looking and saying, this time I want it to be for, I did last time, I want it to be for life, but this time, if I'm going to have a woman in my life, I want to put the effort in to understand a little bit about where women come from. Now, I get it. I've had one of these ladies said to me, oh, you don't know anything about women. So, yeah, well, that's the point. I'm here not to learn. I don't want knowledge of women. I want to catch the heart. And what I have discovered is a lot of women have completely buried and hidden their heart. And when you touch it, they just blame the male, bite you and run off. But I persist. And obviously I have to respect boundaries. Somebody says, leave me alone, don't ever message me. Well, I have to leave them alone and not ever message them. But some would say, well, chase them. No, we're adults here. And I think at midlife it becomes, for me, some of my things I've learned is that I don't want a lady that I have to just put all the effort into. This is not an 18-year-old anymore. This is somebody who's midlife, 50 odd, around 50, younger, older, whatever. But somebody who's saying, I want to discover what life is. And for me, I want to walk with somebody that's the best version of her and I'm the best version of me. Now, there's always going to be things we can improve, and she'll change things in me, I'll change things in her. I've resisted building too much of a life around myself in this, and people looked and have given me a pretty rough time over that. If you had a house and you had, you know, a proper job, all those things are covered, but I won't go into that. But they want it to be normal. If you had all that normal, a woman would come to you. Nobody actually stops and talks to me and realizes that one of the reasons I don't have it normal is because I don't want her to come to me for that. I want to go into the rest of my life with a woman, discovering our future together. I live fairly free here and there and doing what I do, and I don't want to be like that forever. But as I wait, the right person's going to come along and say, I love your heart. I love your spirit first. I don't understand you. I don't understand what you do. I don't understand your behaviors. You're not normal. Good. Don't want to be. Because I want them to go for the heart. But when somebody looks then and says, you really annoy me in some ways, but there's just something about you that's worth the effort. So imagine now sitting on that journey with a woman, and the time being spent just out walking, talking, just romancing. I've never had deep romance like this. I just want to romance somebody that hears my heart. I send a message, they get the message, they send something back. It's a two-way thing. Don't expect me to do all the work. I have value too. And I think a woman at mid-age should be able to say, I'm going to put some effort into this male, and as he's putting effort into me. Then what do? As we come together and we start to resonate and our spirits have joined in some sort of just right. They just merge, they get each other in a spiritual level, maybe not in a natural level yet, because that takes time. But in a spiritual level, you look at that person or sense that person and say, okay, you and I resonate on the same frequency of God. And our knowledge of God may be different, but we have the same frequency. And then I think from that it becomes, when the situation's right. I mean, I've talked on other videos. I had this with a lady that was just incredible, and I pulled away because the circumstances around her life weren't in a good position or place. And had I continued, it would have put her in an awkward position, and I'm not prepared to do that because I had a love for her. And I feel that if it's right, it'll come back around. When that person's in the right way, then it's time to walk the beach, take balloon rides, just be crazy lovers. Start to understand what that means. Start to discover what that means. Start to do things that are just show how much you delight in that person. And I think they do it back. It's not just them sitting there saying, well, okay, bring it on. I'm so important and I'm so good now, I should get all the attention. But it's actually saying, this is both of us on a journey. Now, I think as you walk then and we talk and we're doing things, you know, breakfast in a balloon or something, you start to all of a sudden, you're talking and you say, what do we want to do with our lives? Now, I've had, which I'm not free to talk about, some incredible things that have arrived around my life. Have I unwrapped that yet? Absolutely not. Because I'm waiting for the right time and the right person to unwrap it with. And as I start to walk down those paths, we dream together. It's not Scott and you'll follow what I want to do, and it's not the woman and I'll follow what she wants to do. It's both of us co-joining and saying, now we're co-joined, let's co-create. You're going to bring out the absolute better than best in me. I'm going to bring out the better than best in you. Because I see things in you, and that's what I saw with this lady. I see things in you that you don't even see or know are there. But you have an incredible untapped beauty in you. Everybody's always looked at the outside, they'd never looked at the inside. And I started the other way. She's beautiful on the outside, but I started the other way, went for the spirit first. Stunning. So stunning I had to walk away. And so you look at that, and But imagine someone then doing that back and saying, Scott, I see things in you that nobody's taken the time to tap into. I've taken the time to understand your heart. I've taken the time to understand where we're at together. Now as you come together, you start to say, well, hey, how about we could do this together? And now it's like, wow, yeah. Now your gifts in that are different to my gifts, but as we come together, and I love synergizing. I don't believe we do that enough in marriages and in relationships. The Bible says if one puts 1,000 to flight, two can put 10,000 to flight. And I think that right person that you resonate in spirit is one. They resonate in spirit, you resonate in spirit. 1 + 1 doesn't make 2, doesn't make 3. 1 + 1 makes 10,000. And now it's a case of saying, now you're not getting together for that reason. But when it's right, you're coming together and saying, you never even knew you could do that, did you? And they're saying, you know what, I feel safe. I feel safe with her. And that's another thing. I don't want to be with a woman intimately as a male until I feel safe. I could go and get a lust. I could go and pay some lady. I'm not going to do that. Firstly, I couldn't abuse the person. I'd feel like just terrible. Like, and you know, how can you use somebody and walk away like nothing ever happened? It's sacred to me because it's a saying when I'm with a woman, and I've said this in other videos, when I'm with a woman again, that woman, all that I am, I'm going to surrender into her. All that she is, she'll surrender back. And it's a physical union. And I'll almost say that most of us have never experienced that. You might have had sexual intercourse and you've been used, you've been abused, you've had fun, you've had the pleasure, you've pleasured somebody else, you've done all, okay, that's all one level. Even though it's spiritual, it's a very natural level. You ever been with somebody, not for what they can do for you, not for what you can do for them, in complete and utter vulnerability and safety? You're saying, I'm scared, I feel vulnerable, all that I am, I'm giving into you. I'm giving everything of my being to you, and everything of your being is coming to me. That exchange of complete safety would have to be amazing. So, as a middle-aged male, I've decided that that's what I am waiting for. Absolutely, I have desires and things that I have to manage, but it's looking and saying, that's what I want for the rest of my life. Somebody there'll be no limits. Somebody where romance never ends. Because I'm looking at her and going, wow, there's another aspect of you I never even knew was there. And she's looking at me and going, there's an aspect of you I didn't know was there. Let me bring that out. Now we can look and say, gee, they've made some mistakes, and you know, they've had a divorce, they've had a whatever, they've been with other men, they've whatever. That's the beauty of somebody. It's not what, I think religion says, get rid of them, they're not like you. But when you're in the spirit with somebody, you look at them and go, everything that you are is beautiful. You're a work of art. Without black, without white, there wouldn't be the painting called you. Has to be. And it's incredible. It's like looking at that and going, beautiful. Because it's the spirit that's merged, and everything else will come after that. So I think at midlife, having taken the time, taken the journey, let the pain go through me, and I've taken the journey. When my now ex-wife left me, and 4 years ago, nearly 4 years ago, divorced, I submitted myself because I knew I was in a lot of emotion. I passed her, I'd helped a lot of people. I knew the craziness and the crazy decisions they would make. So I got people that I actually respected, not people with just opinions that would, she's a, you know, you're a, no, I'm not interested in the drama queens. I went to the people that were solid, that didn't have opinions, just loved me. And I submitted to one man spiritually, and I regularly, and I still am. He was there through our breakdown of the marriage, during it and after it, and still is today. Spiritually, he spoke into my life, and he would look at me and see how I was doing. Domestically, I lived in when I'm in this city here, Canberra, I lived with an 84-year-old. I grew up with her son. Her son was my best friend. I used to sleep in her house when I was 12 years old. She knows me. She knows my mother. She's a fireball and she's not a pushover. I submitted myself to her domestically so she could beat me around when I was, being the male I needed to be domestically. Naturally, there was others. And so I looked at the different parts of my life, and this is a good recommendation for you. Don't make decisions when you think you're able to make decisions. Wait till the people around you start telling you, yeah, okay, you're healed enough now. And that took a long time, and it really annoyed me. And they'd say, you're not ready for a woman in your life. And I'd be like, what? Shut up. Yes, I am. No. Now I look back, I'm like, thank God I never did. And so submit yourself to those types of people that are going to be with you and walk with you. And that can be a relationship, walking into a relationship, but it needs to be someone that is going to treasure you, not just be there to take out their desires. I think, there was someone that I wanted to help at one point. I thought they were going to be in that position. And so I was going to rent a house up the road for this person, this lady. I was not going to stay in that house. It was going to be, here's a place for you to detox, to relax, to rest, to connect again, to find what you really, really want in life. Maybe that means you'll end up being back with your relationship. Maybe it means you won't. But I cared enough to think that's what I want to do, because I don't want someone that's just going to go like, I'll take you because you ease my pain. No, we're going on a lifelong journey together. And I'm quite happy to give them time and space to when that lady would have come and said, hey, I'm ready. I think it would have just developed if it had have been right. But I don't want to be the one to break anything up or to destroy or to take over or to dominate or to, no. So I don't think it's a case of equality. I think that the woman is the best woman, you're the best man for each other. And you just bring out the best, the better than best in each other. So anyway, that's my sort of middle-age talk. There's a right way and a wrong way to do this. If you're in that position, like a lot of these ladies that I've met or been hearing about, that are looking to leave or looking in a tough position, you still love him, but maybe not in love with him, or you still love her, but you're not in love with her. But I want to talk to the women, because I was at the other end with the men. When my then wife was talking to me like that, I had no clue. She kept saying, you're not hearing me. I'm thinking, not hearing you? What are you talking about? I understand everything you're saying. But now I understand a little differently. She really was saying, you're not feeling me. I mean, she did say you don't do as you're told. Well, I'm like, no, what you're saying is I don't follow orders. Well, that's never going to happen. You need to engage the heart, not the head. I'm a man, I'm not a little puppy dog. And so I think women, the men around your life, some of them are just not capable. I was not capable. It was the fact that I got completely destroyed and broken, and people that loved me just walked with me and built me back up. I put the effort in, I put the work in, I'm still putting the effort and the work in. But I believe I'm a completely different male to what I was then. And I know that because the people that have known me for 30, 40 years are saying you're a different person now. And like I say, I'm with a lot of older ladies that sit and talk, and I'm able to resonate and understand what they're saying, where they're coming from, taking the time to try to figure out that when this special lady walks into my life, then we're going to resonate. So anyway, I think, yep, different. Some of the ladies have looked at me and gone, well, you're a very different male. Absolutely. Absolutely. I am not interested in being controlled by sexual things. I'm not interested in being vulnerable in those areas until I know I have a heart. And to me, I want to do it right. And it's not just about me doing it right, it's about the lady, the woman that I care about, caring about every detail of her life. If she has children, caring about her children, to make sure that everything's understood and right, because my children have been traumatized in the way some of this has gone down. Every aspect of this as a male should be to say, this is not about me achieving what I want and getting my feelings met. This is about me putting into somebody's life that I feel deeply for. As I put into their life, every aspect of their life that they're going to be in emotional turmoil maybe, I want to just sit with them and talk and say, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? You know, it's hard because people are like, well, who do you think you are? And if they take it that way, then not much I can do. I hope I don't come across that way. So anyway, a bit of a talk. We're going to keep talking on midlife, because I think we don't hear a lot about it. Lots of the teenage stuff that's pitching everything at sex. How about we talk about spiritual and heart intimacy? I mean, I got to say this. I mean, to me, right, this is my ultimate. Imagine you're out walking with the woman. You've spent all this time getting to know each other, and you're just talking, and you haven't been together sexually. And then somewhere along the line, it's just you're out sitting at a sunset, looking at that sunset, and you just see the beauty and setting in her eyes. And before you know it, you're in each other's arms. A natural progression, a natural flow, not something, the sexual, I'm not saying you'd have sex with her there, but I'm just saying the sexual, the intimacy, the non-platonic, it should not be there to build a relationship, I don't believe. It shouldn't be a foundation of a relationship, because it'll pass. Lust passes. I believe it should just be a case of saying, we just flow, a flow. Wow, that flowed, and it was spiritual and divine. It's almost worth, as soon as you know that one's the one, saying, all right, let's get married, then the pressure's off with that, and if you're religious, and we can take the journey, even if we're not together. Nobody needs to know you're married, right? I joked about that with someone once. I said, you know, maybe it'd be a great thing to do, wouldn't it? Find this woman that she knows that you're for her, you know you're for each other. Say, let's get married now. Don't tell anybody. So you get married, and then you just go about your life, and you go and just build and build and build. And then you can go and have a marriage that everybody else says, but you don't have to do that. But it's just, to me, I was thinking about from talking more, I guess, religious folks that feel they can't be together intimately until they're married, and I think that pressure, it should be. Well, that's another discussion for another video, isn't it? I mean, it's. I think we should not be condemned. But anyway, a little bit more men, women, a bit of my heart, a bit of vulnerability. I got to say, I'm kind of stretched myself doing this as a male, talking on here, because I know that there's a lot of different opinions. I don't know who's listening to it. I don't know who's with it anywhere. I just know that, pray that the right people listen to this. I'm not looking for a viral video, just looking for those of the same heart that would look and say, yeah, time we did it a little different, because I'm not going to spend the rest of my life in trauma. I'm going to spend it wrapped up in the most romantic love every day of my life. I want to wake up, look at that woman and go, I can't believe you're here. I can't believe you're here, but I also know there's nowhere else for you to be. What do we got today? Every day together is going to be a gift we're just going to unwrap and say, wow, what do we got today? Yeah, we'll have challenges. That's just part of life. But when you know who you are,